Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Shoestring Jane, and today I'm going to talk about ways to save money on groceries. So I think that if you need to save money, starting with your grocery shop is often a really good, easy win. So we tend to be quite wasteful if you've never shopped with a list, if you don't really think about what you're going to buy, if you have a lot of takeaways, then there's probably quite a lot of room for improvement. So it is an easy win, as I say. So you just need to be a bit organised, really. I think organising yourself for the week and just a bit of planning, forward planning is key. And then from there, you can save lots of money. So anyway, here are my 8 ways to save money on your groceries. So number 1 on my list is shop at discount stores such as Aldi, Lidl, also to an extent stores in the UK anyway, like B&M and Home Bargains are good. They all have food sections now. If you just think about, if you perhaps always go to Tesco's, always go to Sainsbury's, think about shopping elsewhere and see what money you can save. I know that when I started shopping at Aldi years ago, I immediately saved so much money on the family shop. I couldn't believe it. I was saving like 30 to 50 pounds a week just by shopping elsewhere. Partly I think it is because there's not so much temptation, so I can get lost in a massive Tesco's. I don't actually like and enjoy that experience. I've said before, I'm not a great lover of shopping. So if I can get around as quickly as possible, then that's great. And there's, in the smaller stores, particularly Aldi and Lidl, there's a lot less temptation. And if you want to avoid temptation altogether, avoid the middle aisles, because you can get sucked into those sometimes. But nevertheless, I would say it's easy to save a big chunk on your groceries just by shopping elsewhere. And my second tip on my list is to start meal planning. Plan your meals. So again, this is something I never used to do, and I'd have a rough idea when I went shopping. I'd go and like chuck loads of stuff in the trolley, have a rough idea of what we might eat and think, oh, that will go with that, and wouldn't necessarily know what I already had in the cupboards or in the fridge or the freezer. If you plan your meals, you can start by looking at what you've got already, what needs using up, so you're not going to waste it, and only buy what you need to. So it's a win for the environment as well as you. If you stop food waste, stop the stuff going in the bin, and then you're not spending money on stuff you've already got that then goes to waste. You can check what you've got in, build it into your meal plan. Think about your schedule as well. So think, am I going to be busy late back from work that night? So I want something really easy. Do the kids have football or netball practice or whatever they've got? Clubs after school, so we need something quick. So we resist the lure of McDonald's or the takeaway or pizza or whatever. If you think about that, and then planning meals saves time and brain energy as well, I find, because you just don't have to think about it. You know what you're going to have, you know you've got it in. I do sometimes, I'm flexible, I sometimes swap them around a bit, but I know what we're going to have for dinner at the beginning of the week, and we have the ingredients for those meals. I don't so religiously plan breakfast and lunches, but I do always make sure we've got simple things in. So because I work from home, I'll make sure we've got some bread in, and I'll make a big vat of soup every now and then and freeze some. So I've always got soup in the freezer. I've got cheese and eggs and that kind of thing. Tend to be porridge or yogurt for breakfast. So you can plan every meal if you really want to go for it. And you can also do a whole 2 weeks or a whole month's meal planning if you want to. I tend to want to be a little bit more flexible than that, so I'll go for a weekly meal plan. So plan your meals, number 2. So number 3 on my list is to make a shopping list. So you can write the shopping list as you go through your meal planning. I also keep a board up in the kitchen, so as we run out of things, I'm getting close to the end of things, I'll write it on there. And then if you shop with a list, you won't end up going in for some basics like milk and eggs and coming out with a new microwave, whatever. Yes, might be a bit extreme, but you know what happens. You go in, you've got a rough idea of what you want, but you forget all of those things and come out with a load of wine or chocolate, things that you don't need. So the other thing about shopping with a list is that as well as saving you money, it saves on food waste again, and it saves you time, which is good for me. I just like to whiz around, get it done, finished. And number 4 is to hunt for the yellow stickers and the reductions. So you can learn when your local supermarket is likely to do their reductions and when they do their next lot of reductions. So they start off with just, I don't know, 50p off, and then by the end of the evening, when they're trying to get rid of things desperately, they might be 10p each. So you can time it and get to know it. You can talk to the staff, find out when they usually do their reductions. If you go in regularly, they don't mind. They kind of get used to you. They want the food to go. So evenings are good, Sundays especially. So if you go about 3:30 before they're going to close at 4, before bank holidays, especially the big ones like Christmas and New Year. I find Monday mornings is often quite good as well, because they haven't actually tipped anything out yet from Sunday evening. They're really, really cheap, especially at the Co-op. They do lots of 10p stuff. So always check the reduced shelves first when you're going to anywhere to buy something. And when you do get it home, obviously you don't want to buy a load of reduced stuff and then just waste it. So you've got to plan it into your meals quite quickly and then eat it quickly or freeze it. So if it's something that you can't freeze, try and build it in over the next day or two. I don't tend to be absolutely neurotic about best before dates. So if I buy a pot of hummus and it's on its end date, I'll still eat that a couple of days later. But that's obviously a personal choice. You might choose not to do that. So think about that when you pick things up. So number 5 on my list, even better than reduced food, is free food. So if you haven't got the Olio app yet, get it. It's brilliant. I can't recommend it highly enough. It stops food going to waste from the big retailers and from individuals as well, who might just have bought too much of something. So they offer it up on the app and you can go and collect it. I find there's an awful lot of bread and bakery goods that come up, but also sometimes things like fresh fruit and vegetables and salads. We've had luncheon meat, ham, those kind of things as well. We've even had like big packets of sauces that are really have got a massive long date on them, but for some reason they've been tipped out by whoever was selling them. So the Olio app is brilliant. Really get that downloaded. That's well worth it. Number 6 on my list is learn to cook. If you want to save money on your groceries, being able to cook basic meals makes such a difference. If you can do a spaghetti bolognese, a pasta bake, a shepherd's pie, a basic casserole, things like that, you don't have to be a pro chef. Just learn some basic methods and then you can save yourself loads of money. You get a lot more satisfaction out of it. You'll eat better. If you learn to cook, you'll be less inclined to spend all of your money on Deliveroo and ping meals and takeaways, that kind of thing. So there's loads of instruction out there. So you could go and look on YouTube, for example. There's TV programs galore about how to cook. There's some really good basic books out there. And just simple instructions on blogs. There's so many. Just try it. The thing is not to be scared. Give it a go. It really isn't that difficult to cook a basic meal. So number 7 on my list, and another way to save money on your groceries is to eat less meat. So you don't have to become a vegan or a vegetarian if you don't want to, but meat is generally cheaper than things like pulses, cheese, eggs, things that vegetarians would eat. So if you don't want to become vegetarian, you don't have to. You could do, say, a meat-free Monday. There's actually a website, Meat Free Monday. I'll try and remember to link it below. And they've got lots of vegetarian recipes on there. Or if you don't fancy actually going completely meat-free, you could just stretch the meat. So you could put just a couple of portions of chicken in for a casserole where you might normally put 4, and stretch it with lots of pulses. You could do some pearl barley, lots of vegetables. You could do a can of chickpeas, those kind of things, just to stretch it out. And that will save you money. And it also adds fibre and nutrition to what you're eating as well. So it's worth doing it from that point of view. But one note of caution, that pre-prepared vegan and vegetarian food is just as expensive as meat, if not also sometimes. So making it yourself, like I said before, learn to cook, making it yourself is the way to go. Plus also you get a lot more packaging if you're buying pre-prepared stuff. Another way you can save money on your grocery bill, number 8 on my list, is to learn to batch cook. So even if you just make double of something, so you maybe make a double portion of chicken casserole, that means you could buy a big thing of chicken thighs or whatever you buy rather than a little one, and you'll always get the economies of scale. So you could actually spend a whole day making food. So you could buy really big packs of mince and make a whole load of spaghetti bolognese, or just a basic mince type mixture that you could use for spaghetti bolognese, or you could use it as a base for a cottage pie or a chili, that kind of thing, and freeze it. And it saves you loads of time as well. So although you've got to make the initial effort, it will save you time, and you get the savings from being able to buy larger packets of everything. So the sort of things you can do are curries, casserole, pasta sauces, meatloaves, lentil loaves, those kind of things, burgers, and it saves you loads of time, and it will save you money too. So those are just 8 ways to save money on your groceries. There are loads more. I'm sure you can tell us your ideas in the comments. There are loads more. I might come back with part 2 of this if I get the time to do that. In the meantime, please like this video if you did enjoy it, and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.